So, I've made the arms, attached the hands and put the arm rods on them. There they are. And so I've also done the body, and I've drawn out where the head's going to attach up here. It's not a very long body. I hope it's going to be okay. I think it's going to be all right. I'm running out of fabric. If I need to make a little bit longer, I've got about this much left, but I really wanted to maybe make a pair of legs and feet, and so we'll see how it goes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stitch the body up together and then assemble the parts and see how he looks. Saying that the body isn't very long, but the neck on the puppet is actually quite long, and so that might be okay. Every little thing is gonna be alright. Fluff in my eye, fluff in my eye. That's better. Now I've got a body. Now I just need to work out where I want the arms attaching. I think about there for that one, and about so I just pin them on and have a play and see how I feel about that arm placement. Arm rods are coming adrift, and so I need to attach those a little bit better than I have. Aha! I have handsies! Ah, yes, handsies! Ho 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 ho! Yes, I think about there-ish should just about be alright. Ah, that's nice. Okay, that's why I want the armsies. I will attach them on, and then I will make a rod for the tail and attach the tail. Aha! He does look a bit like the Pink Panther, doesn't he? There's nothing wrong with that. So there we go. I will be back when I've done that little bit. Okay, so confession time. I was stitching one arm on and talking to the camera while I was doing it, but of course, silly me, forgot to press the record button, and so I was literally just talking to myself, which I suppose is what I'm doing anyway. But the uselessness of me doing it while not even having a device on recording mode just seems like an extra kind of madness, but never mind. We're nearly done, and I hope that it's going to be okay. I've really rushed the making of this puppet because I need it. I want to apply for a puppetry position for something that would mean a lot to me. I've just had a notice from two friends sent me messages that the Jim Henson Company are doing a puppet training program and looking for people from more or less exactly my demographic. And so I thought, yeah, great, I've got to show them a video of me doing some puppetry. But I didn't have one of the puppets I made, although I have made a lot over the years. But when I moved back to England in 2019, I gave all of the puppets that I'd made away to somebody that's a great puppeteer and does lovely work and shows. And, I was thinking, well, I can't take everything back with me, and I can always make more puppets. So that's why I've been rushing to make this little puppet as quickly as I can. And so I hope that it does the job, and I really, really hope that I get the opportunity to work for the Jim Henson Company, or has been something that I've wanted to do since I was a little boy. That was literally my only ambition in life, and I didn't think that I was ever going to get the chance. I might not. Mainly because when Jim Henson died, they closed the Creature Workshop up, and they stopped making movies and stuff in England, and doing as much work as they used to do in the 80s and 90s when I was growing up, watching all that wonderful, wonderful stuff. So I ended up working for Disneyland, doing the characters and a little bit of puppeteering out there. But forever and ever and ever, all I've ever really, really wanted in my heart was to work for the Jim Henson Company. So this is my way of giving it a go, and I hope that it leads to something. You never know. You've got to have a little bit of luck every now and then, and if you don't try, you never know. And if I didn't try and apply at least and give it my best shot, I think that's something that I would regret for the rest of my life. So here we go. When I was 14 years old, I knew a lot of people that worked for the Muppets and the Jim Henson Company, and they invited me onto the film set when they were making Muppets Treasure Island. Best day of my life. I was completely starstruck, of course, but I met all the wonderful puppeteers. Dave Goles, Steve Whitmire, John Henson was playing Sweetums at the time, I believe. And seeing all the sets and the workshops and where they built the puppets, and I really had this feeling. I knew that was what I wanted to do. Well, I knew anyway. I grew up watching Sesame Street and Muppets and all those wonderful fantasy programs and films they used to make. One of the best ones, in my opinion, was a series with John Hurt called The Storyteller, where he would sit by a fire and tell these wonderful dark fairy tales to a talking dog, voiced and played by Brian Henson. And that was probably my favourite thing that the Jim Henson Company ever made. I loved that. So if I could ever get the opportunity to work on anything like that. The Labyrinth as well. That was a wonderful film with Jennifer Connelly and Connelly, whatever, and David Bowie. That wonderful music. And again, I've got lots of friends that worked on these films, and they tell me stories about when they were making this stuff. And that was always what I wanted to do. Always, always, always. So there you go, now you know. Right. Arms are in position. My hands are funny. I know. Okay, let's sort these arm rods out. Just attach them a little bit better. Dee 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 dee. Dee 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 dee. Dee 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 dee. one of my most treasured possessions is a book called Jim Henson The Works, and I used to take it everywhere with me, and so the outside is quite battered these days, but it's been signed inside. I had it on that day when I went to see the filming of Muppet Treasure Island, and I got it signed by all the wonderful people, from Polly Smith, who used to do the costumes, to all the fabulous performers. If you ask me, I'll show it to you on a different video if I remember to do it. It's been quite stressful recently. I'm just about to start a new job. In fact, I'm going today to move in and start a new job. Not what I want to do with my life, but hey, it's a foot in the door, and I really need to work. And at the same time, moved to the coast near Skegness, my mother's house here, and she's having the central heating installed and all sorts of things. That's why everything's chaos everywhere. We've got builders, you can probably hear the noises of them installing the central heating at the moment, and then the next thing that needs to happen is the electricity needs to be completely rewired and do whatever it is that they need to do. But today, this afternoon, I'm going to be moving to my accommodation. I'm not moving with all my puppet studio and making stuff, because I can't. I'm still going to come back here for weekends to work on puppets and do that stuff. But in the meantime, I'll be working in Butlins and Skegness in a restaurant called the Beachcomber. It's a restaurant pub, apparently. And the position that I'll be doing is as a waiter. I've done stuff like that before. It's going to be good fun. I hope the team's nice, and I hope the accommodation is nice. I don't know anything really about it. I'm nervous, very nervous about that, but I think it's going to be okay. We're going to be all right. Right, that should hold the arm rods in a little bit better. One of my arms is longer than the other. One of my arms just doesn't belong. Can you tell which thing is longer than the other by the time I finish this song? Is it? Or is it just bending funny? I think it's because the wrist is bending funny. It might be a little bit twisted. I think it's okay. Right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the tail and put a piece of wire in it so that it can stand up and be operated. And for that, I'm going to use the old trusty wire coat hanger, which I find quite difficult to get hold of these days. There aren't really many places where you can get wire coat hangers from, and for the puppet maker, that's a very important part of making puppets. You need wire coat hangers in abundance. So if somebody knows, then tell me. These ones came for a bundle of about 10 from a pound shop, I think, if I remember correctly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this redundant arm that I made. I'm going to put the wire inside, make a nice little loop on the end. I'm going to put the wire up inside it, but I'm also going to have a little bit extra on the bottom, which is going to be the handle that I can operate the tail with, but also it means that I've got a little bit of extra handiness there, a loop that I can hang the puppet up with when he's not being used. If I'm using him in my puppet theatre and I need to have him on one of the hooks, I can easily thrust my hand inside and there we go. So quite a large loop there that you can hold it, operate the tail with. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch up the end because it's got holes in both ends. So I'm going to stitch that up, attach the tail to his back, and then we will see where we are. There is the back of the puppet. I'll put a pin in there to mark the spot. Now I'm going to sew up the end of the tail so that the wire doesn't stick out. Then when I've finished the puppet, all I've got to do is create a video to my satisfaction that I can show to the Jim Henson Company and hopefully be invited to participate in their puppet training course or whatever it is they're doing. And fingers crossed, hope and pray for me, everybody. I really, really want this. That's all I've ever wanted. My secret dream. Well, it's not a secret. I think anybody that has ever met me, ever knows me, knows that that's always been my ambition. That would be wonderful to be one of the Jim Henson Company puppeteers. Did anybody see the Jim Henson Creature Workshop Challenge? That was a good series. I'd love to have done something like that. I wonder if the guy that won it is still working for them and what he's worked on, what he does. He seemed like a great chap. But they all seemed like wonderful puppet makers. I don't know if I'd be able to do it in competition setting on television. That must be incredibly stressful. Especially being judged by the likes of Brian Henson. Honestly, puppetry royalty, isn't he? I bet he's a really nice chap, though. He seems it. I just want to have a good old chat with him, really. Wouldn't it be great just to have even just get a look around the Creature Workshop? Where are they based these days? I think they're based in uh, Los Angeles, I think, in America. They might have a studio in New York as well. But as I said, they used to have one in London. So now I just attach the tail. And it'll just be fiddling and adjusting afterwards, really. I might make a pair of legs, but I'm running out of time. I've got things I need to do. I need to pack and do some shopping and go off and start my new job, move into my new accommodation. Cool. So what I'm going to do is I've attached this at the base. I'm now going to give it a little bit of, just attach it a little bit up the back so that it stays up a bit of its own accord. That should do the job. Let's have a go and see how it feels. Dear, no, the tail doesn't stay up very far. But well, it's there. Oh, it does a bit. That arm's twisted. fluff in my eye. Okay, so he needs a tongue. He needs to have his pink bits on here painted, a slightly different shade, and I need to brush out the seams. And I've got a handy little Dremel tool that I don't see any other use for other than brushing out the seams on furry puppets to make them look a little bit nicer. What do you use these Dremel tools for? I've got absolutely no idea. Obviously brushing out seams on puppets. That's what you use them for. The best thing to do this with is one of those metal cat brushes. We had cats when I was growing up, and so we had various cat brushes. It makes a big difference to the look of the puppet, brushing out the seams nicely. It's worthwhile doing. Hiding the construction of the puppet, so nobody will know. They will all think that it is a real pinky creature with googly eyes and arm rods. My hands look darker. I went out on a massive bike ride yesterday. I look very white and pale on the camera image because I'm directly in front of the window, but I think actually I'm starting to get a little bit of a tan. Yesterday it was a nice warm day. Today it's cloudy. I've got to ride my bike when I go to move into my place later on, but it's much better to do it on a lovely sunny day. Cycling in yucky weather is not fun, is it? My phone's making noises. Battery power, oh, it will all switch off in 30 seconds. Well, I think I better stop there then.